Hi there, I am Csaba, and this lesson is for week 3 of Introduction to Music Production at Coursera.org. This week, I will be showing how to create a submix in my DAW. I'm using Cubase LE5. Now in Cubase, the concept of buses is a little bit different than what we might have seen in the presentations. If I bring up my VST connections with F4, you can take a look at these inputs and outputs and see that they are called buses. But in this case, an input bus means it gets input from the hardware inputs, and the output means it pushes the signal to a hardware output. So these are not suitable for creating submixes or send and return effects, but you don't have to worry, Cubase provides all these functionalities, they are just named a little differently. So here you can see my example project. It's a very simple project. It has 2 instrument tracks, one for bass guitar, one for drums, and it has 2 audio tracks, 2 guitar tracks, which are very similar, and I want to create a submix of them. Let's hear what the project sounds like now. Okay, so if I bring up my mixer with F3, you can see I've set up some relative levels between these 2 guitar tracks. I've also set up some panning. This is all okay. So now we can move on to create the submix. So in Cubase, to create a submix, you'll need something called a group track. This is a specific track which is designed for creating submixes. You can think of it as both a bus and an auxiliary track that gets its input from this bus. So I will create my group track, set it to stereo, because I've set up panning, so it's important that it be stereo. I will name it. Now if I play the project now, you will see that this group track doesn't get any signal from anywhere, so you won't see any levels. But if I reroute my outputs from both those guitar tracks into this group track, then we will see the levels there. So I will select both these guitar tracks with Alt and Shift, and while keeping Alt and Shift pressed, you can change the output of a track here. As you see, the group track has appeared here, and it has been set for both channels. So now if I play it back, you will see that the group track is picking up a signal. And if I use the volume fader of it, it will control both of the guitar tracks. Also panning and the mute button and the solo button all function for both of these tracks. And of course, another further enhancement is that I can now put inserts, effects, onto both these tracks by putting it on the group track. So for example, I want to put on these guitar tracks a phaser and a flanger. So I will put that on my group track. Okay, now that I have that set up, let's hear what the result is. Okay, so there's actually another way inside Cubase to use one volume fader for multiple tracks. It is not very widely known, it is not very well documented, so I will just make a mention of it. It's not really used. Inside your mixer window, you can select multiple tracks and then link them together. So if I selected these tracks, right-clicked and selected link channels, then after that you can see that the volume fader will work for both simultaneously, and also the same for the solo button and the mute button. But again, this is not really widely used. Okay, so I hope I've covered all the basics. Thanks for watching. Thanks for critiquing. See you later.